to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda, and I am here today with a book review of The Connellys of County Down. This is by Tracey Lange, and this was a book of the month choice for July of 2023, and I was super excited to see it there because this was very much on my highly anticipated list. I had read Tracey Lange's first book, We Are the Brennans, and really enjoyed it, so I was looking forward to see what her second book would be. This book, and I should say a little aside, tangential, my maternal grandfather's family was from County Down, so a little tie there. Tracey Lange, like her first book, this deals with an Irish-American family in New York. If any of you are old enough to remember Ed Burns movies from the 90s, like The Brothers McMullen, which were about Irish-American families in New York, this has kind of the same vibes in a way. I enjoyed them, so I was really happy to see this. I wonder what Ed Burns is doing these days. Anyway, in here we have three siblings. The oldest is Geraldine. Geraldine, at the age of 19, had to take over the responsibility of raising her two younger siblings. Their mother had died of cancer previously, and their father, who was a criminal, had just disappeared. And then I'm actually not sure of the order. I think Eddie is the next oldest. So Eddie, the only boy in the family, he in high school suffered a brain injury, and still as an adult is dealing with the repercussions of that. He deals with migraines and can have seizures and is on medications to control that. He's also a single father. The mother of his son Connor is only peripherally in the picture. She's not someone who can really be in charge of a child. And then the youngest is the daughter, Tara, and she is she is the main character of this book. And we meet her as she is being released from prison on a drug trafficking charge. And so she's being released and she's returning back home. Now, as many people who are released from prison and have a felony record, she faces trouble doing things like getting a job and setting up like that, but she has her family to rely on. However, she comes back and she notices some strange things. I shouldn't say interesting, strange things. Starting with, her sister is supposed to pick her up from prison and doesn't. Luckily, her arresting officer just happens to be coming by to the prison and he gives her a ride home. Yeah, the arresting officer, by the name of Brian Doyle, he also plays a part in this book. She gets home to an empty house and finds her bedroom padlocked and doesn't know what's going on. She realizes very quickly that Geraldine has a hoarding issue. I'm not clear, and it's not really made clear, and it's not important whether this happened while Tara was incarcerated or if it's something that only got to the point where they noticed it while she was incarcerated. So Tara comes back and she wants to do anything to stay out of jail because she feels that she needs to basically save her family. Her brother and her brother's son very much need her. Obviously, something's going on with her older sister, with whom she has a very loving but contentious relationship. And things just seem to not ever go Tara's way. So I don't want to go too far into that because the plot, that's the setup you need for this book. What did I like about this book? I love the characters in this book. Tara is a great character. I rooted for her all the way. Like, she's a well-written character. She's not perfect. She makes some dumb decisions from time to time. She does sometimes act without thinking things through. She's not an unflawed character. She does have her flaws, but she is a very genuine character. I also really liked Eddie and Lange's discussion of how he deals with his brain injury, because that does really play a part and it really affects all parts of his life. I will say I had more trouble with Geraldine, and the reason why is because I understand Geraldine's issues, why she has these issues. So that's not my problem, but she's described in a very childlike way, which I thought was very strange. And I have been trying to work it out in my brain since finishing this book, why Lange decided to do that. I do think that this was intentional on her part. I'm just not quite sure I completely understand why. However, I will also say I was reading another book at the same time that had some character issues that were a much bigger deal. So the characterization of Geraldine here probably didn't affect me as much as it would have if this were the only book I had been reading at the time. But I'm a book polygamist. I read several books at a time. The writing is wonderful. And as I said, this is great Irish-American Ed Burns 90s, but in a feminine literary sort of way vibes. There is one little like mystery, like a little tiny mystery, like why did something happen? That is revealed in this book. I will say I kind of figured out really quickly what it was. So it's not that much of a mystery, but it's also not that big part of the book. So it's fine. I gave this book an A. I would highly recommend it, as I would also recommend We Are the Brennans, her first book. So please give this one a check. It's the Connellys of County Down by Tracey Lange. This was a pre-release through Book of the Month, but I believe by the time this video goes live, it will be out on shelves. So you should not have any trouble finding it. So thank you very much. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.